Hello everyone, very good evening to all of you for tuning in. Okay, 很特别的一个开场，因为usually we start this with a few people on screen lah, but today I alone. Somehow it's a rainy day. Okay, so want to welcome everyone for coming along to Facebook and watch us live. 大家晚上好。Okay, 很多朋友看到我最近的一些节目呢，都会叫我阿海they call me 阿海 nowadays. Okay, 廣東人呢叫我阿海啊。福建人Hokkien you can call me Ahai. But for our friends in Malay or slightly well versed in English, you can call me Hi. Yeah, I'll be here, okay, with you throughout this MyTV series. Okay, meaning to say, what is MyTV? Okay, you saw this logo, MyTV. It's not MyTV. It's not MyTV. Remember, it's Marsiling-Yew TV. Okay, so this TV belongs to Marsiling-Yew, and most importantly, it belongs to every resident out there. Okay, we'll be having a 5 series of episodes for you guys to actually follow up on shows, and we'll be talking about what is happening in this community. We'll be talking about what good news we have for you, and most importantly, we'll be actually sharing correct information right here at MyTV for all our residents, and this is going to be very fun and very engaging. Okay, so we pre-planned this MyTV for quite some time, I would say. Yeah, 我们 plan 了很久，然后想要用这个方式 because why? We know that we are in phase 2, but most importantly, we still need to practice social distancing, safe distancing. We want everybody to be safe at home, but we don't want everyone to be left out in terms of entertainment. We don't want everyone to be left out in terms of correct information. We want the usual interaction. So right now, we go into digitalization. Wow, chima. Okay, so right here, we'll actually be talking about everything with you. Regarding your Marsiling-Yew. Okay, so for now, we need to invite them up. You have seen the poster. You know who are the 4大天王. So, ladies and gentlemen, our Marsiling-Yew residents, let us all invite them up. Okay, we have Minister for National Development and Second Minister. We have Minister for National Development and Second Minister for Finance, Mr. Lawrence Wong. Hi, sir. Hello. Hello, 你好, 你好. And we have. Yeah. Wow, okay, looking good, sir. Okay, and we have Mr. Zaki Mohammed, Minister of State for National Development and Manpower. Hi, sir.
Hello, 晚上好。
晚上好，晚上好。哇 Chinese speak Malay, Malay speak Chinese. Wow, today I jialat. I got to try many languages already. Okay. And next up we have Mr. Ong Teng Kun. Hello, sir. Hello.
Hello, good evening. Welcome, 大家好。
Wow, 全部 multilingual 的. Next up, we have Mr. Alex Yam with the new haircut.
Hello, everybody. All the national language taken already. So, 大家好。
廣東話都出嚟啦。Okay. 太好了。Hey, actually, it's very happy to have all our four friends over here with us in Marsiling-Yew because they are common face in Marsiling-Yew and everyone is so excited to see them. Okay, I see. 我刚刚看到我们刚刚上線. We just started the show and we have about coming to 200 people watching us. So help us to share this around to your friends in Marsiling-Yew, and even if you're not staying in Marsiling-Yew, don't worry. This program is also for you, okay? Because we just want to bring you the correct information and bring you all the happiness and the positivity that we have. Okay, so talking about this happiness, it sometimes leads to excitement. So for myself, I was quite excited, okay? Because yesterday at 4 p.m., not only me, okay, the whole of Singapore has been actually buzzing about our PM's announcement about this upcoming general election. Even my mom called me, 阿海啊，你有没有听到要选举了? Okay, yeah. I say, Mom, okay, can. Yeah, so can I actually invite Minister Wong to kick off our show with some comments, please, sir?
Well, thank you, Kelvin. First of all, on behalf of all of us, I would like to thank all our residents for giving us the opportunity to serve you these past 5 years. Truly, we want to thank you for your friendship and support. And it has really been a privilege for all of us to be part of this Marsiling-Yew family. So we humbly seek your support for the PAP team in this coming election. The election will be different from all the previous ones. It's different because the format is going to be different. Due to COVID-19, there are no more physical rallies. Even our ground activities will be more restrained in order to ensure safety for everyone. But it's also going to be different because for this election, the stakes are going to be very high. Right? There's much more that we have to do because the fight against COVID-19 is not over. And we can expect many more challenges ahead, whether it's controlling the infection or it is making sure that we restart the economy or also taking care of jobs and livelihoods for all Singaporeans. And to overcome this crisis, we really need to rally together, work together as a strong and united team. So we seek the support of all our residents so that we can work closely with all of you to secure our lives, our jobs, and our future.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. With that, personally, as a Singaporean, I want to say thank you for all the hard work in fighting this COVID-19. So as a Singaporean and as a very kaypoh Singaporean, I want to ask, are we having the same 4 candidates over here for Marsiling-Yew?
That is the big question. The PAP, every election will field a slate of new candidates. This year this time we have a strong and diverse slate. Today the party has already started to unveil some of these candidates. In the coming days, more of them will be unveiled to Singaporeans, and we will also share where these new candidates will be fielded, in which constituency. We may very well have a new member in our team, but I think that's something to be shared for a later program. So stay tuned and watch out for it.
For those of you who want me to ask, I ask already. Don't keep asking further. We stay tuned and watch out for it. Okay. 不要什么都叫我问啊，你们okay. So coming back, we talk about COVID-19. So we want to know more about COVID-19. We want to know, understand more about this 看不到又摸不到的这个 virus 啊，对不对？因为我有看到我们的 Min Wong， 他其实有在做一个之前的一个视频 ，an earlier video. He actually mentioned that this virus is something like 看不到 and 摸不到。So which is I think is very true, very true. We are fighting an invisible enemy. So all Singaporeans, we are into phase 2 right now. So please do remember when you go out of your home, mask on as well. And do remember, safe distancing is still very, very, very important right now. Okay, so talking about phase 2. From circuit breaker, then to phase 2, then to phase 1, then to phase 2. May I know what is the first thing that maybe we start with the ministers first? Usually ministers very busy one, but what is the first thing that minister usually do for phase 2? Can we start with Minister Lawrence Wong first?
What's the first thing I did for phase 2? Nothing different. You shouldn't treat phase 2 as a sign that you can go out and party. Actually, in phase 2, we should still be very disciplined and continue to do everything we can to take all the precautions that are necessary.
Okay. Still staying very, very safe and secure. Okay, what about Mr. Zaki?
Okay, I have to first confess. One of the first things I did was to check out the the makan places. But I can tell you what's different after 3 months of being locked in, right? You almost feel guilty of trying to find a place to makan. You feel like, I think better go ahead and tapao because I feel guilty sitting down there eating. So I said, no, I just tapao back home because you're so used to tapaoing for 3 months. So
that's good.
Yes,
Continue to tapao.
Still practice the tapaoing habit. I think it's still good because getting to
tapaoing.
Over the weekend, I met many residents who are continuing to queue up and tapao. So I asked them, why do you tapao? Can makan outside already, right? And they said, well, we want to be careful. We want to be cautious, right? So even though we can go out to eat, when there are a lot of people outside, we rather tapao and eat at home. I think that's a very good mindset. We all have to be still very careful during phase 2.
That's right. So continue the tapaoing habit. Okay. So I want to ask our next 2 gentlemen over here. Okay, Mr. Ong and Mr. Alex Yam. Okay. Because I know Mr. Alex Yam is actually a father of many kids. Okay. So okay, Mr. Ong. What about Mr. Ong? Mr. Ong.
Last Sunday was Father's Day. So that was one of the first things I did was I brought my wife, my 2 children, and then we went to our my parents' place, and then we had a wonderful Father's Day dinner. And I thought that was very, very nice. Finally, all of us can be together. So I was very grateful for that.
Okay. 2 children you have right now.
Not as many as Mr. Alex, but I'm trying lah. So in time to come,
different He's aiming for a football team It's okay. Okay, coming back to Mr. Alex. Okay, because he usually work late and all this thing, so he has 4 kids to attend to. Okay, so do you actually miss circuit breaker? Frankly speaking.
I miss circuit breaker. But actually, between circuit breaker and non-circuit breaker, in terms of life, it hasn't really changed much. What I really enjoyed was the fact that my kids could go back to school. That was the best joy of phase 2. Basically, because you could focus a little bit more on work. But to be honest, the kids also look forward to go back to school, because for many of them, having to stay home, they were very active boys. So to be cooped up at home and being with parents 24/7, also not too easy for them. So I empathize with many of the parents who had to go through home-based learning, work from home as well. But to see the kids enjoy actually looking forward to go back to school was a bit of a surprise and also very happy moment for me and my wife. So of course the joke was some of my friends text me and say, "Wow, you're so powerful, you enter phase 2 during your birthday." I said, "Nothing to do with me." So over the weekend, went up to the constituency. We of course had a small celebration for Father's Day as well, and great to be able to keep in touch with family physically now, but we're still keeping precautions because it's only phase 2. The virus is still around, and we all have to be very, very careful. So let's work together, and hopefully we enter phase 3 and everything goes smoothly for Singapore and Singaporeans.
Yeah, talking about birthday, happy belated birthday to you, Mr. Yang. Yeah, last few days he was having his 25 years old birthday. Sorry, I felt a bit guilty when I mentioned that.
So with my first kid, I think I was underage.
I think you were 6. No, give him benefit of doubt. 16.
16
and a half.
Okay.
16 and a half.
Okay. So also we have some comments from Facebook as well. They were actually wishing everyone a happy Father's Day. That's right. Okay, keep this. Okay, remember, if let's say you really love your dad, okay, remember they are really very, very tough and very strong. Keep every day's Father's Day, okay? So it's the same goes to Mother's Day as well for all beautiful ladies, our mom out there as well. Okay, so coming back into this COVID-19, okay, talking about Papa and Mama. COVID-19 actually changed a lot of my life. I wasn't needed, or even, I wasn't needed to cook at home. But somehow or rather, COVID-19 changed my life. I become a cook. My wife become the instructor in the house. Okay, time to cook. Okay, can, no problem. I can cook. Okay, so COVID-19 has actually changed me. So I thought I was the only one, until I came along this picture that is online, and then stating that, wow, okay, who led the digital transformation of your company? And the answer was actually COVID-19. Goodness gracious, because COVID-19 actually changed a lot of our usual habits and things like that. That means we still meet our residents, but in terms of meeting them personally, but we have to cut it, and we actually meet them over the internet, right? That means through digital platforms. Yeah. So can I check? All 4 of you actually done that already? That means meeting your friends or even your residents.
I think the last 2 months I've done more virtual meetings than I have in my whole year. a whole lifetime. In the whole lifetime.
Okay. But for this virtual meeting, what was the how do you feel actually? If let's say for example you first started have your hands on virtual meeting, virtual residents meeting, virtual residents interaction, can you get used to it actually? Maybe we ask Mr. Zaki.
Well, for me, meeting virtually was quite normal when I was back in corporate sector, because we used to have a lot of country meetings, right? So inter-country meetings, so we have regional meetings. It's always online. But I think meeting residents online is very different, I suppose. And we're doing shows like this, it's also very different. So, we are so used to community events, in person, then you see 𝗺𝗧𝗏 shows, and now you got to do shows online. So I think it's still not bad. It's an interesting way to do it, but it's different from usual. But I agree with Min in a sense, Minister, in a sense that, I used to just have one app for virtual meetings, which used to be Skype. Now I've got like 5 apps sitting in my iPad because everybody uses a different platform. So now I've got many applications I use. Which one you want to just ask me?
Okay. And I would like to actually encourage youngsters like me, okay, people of my age as well. Okay, if we do have seniors in the house, okay, do remember, teach them about this digital transformation and digitalization, because through that, they can actually keep themselves entertained. Like, for example, some seniors, which the parents of my friends, for example, they are actually watching Korean dramas on their iPad and such. So, wow, it's amazing. It's amazing because during my younger days, my grandma will just watch those Taiwanese drama on TV. Wow, which is about 1,000 episodes. Yeah. After I flew and came back from work for a few weeks, the episode is still the same, with the same scenario, slapping him. 还在打那一巴掌还没有打完的那种. Yeah. So I think it's good that we encourage especially seniors around us to use more on this digital platforms. What about Mr. Ong or Mr. Yam? Have you actually came across some seniors who actually have difficulty in getting in touch with technology? And what is the thing that you actually done to help them? Maybe we start with Mr. Ong.
Yeah, I think we have many of these seniors, and one of the things that we really need to get them comfortable with is to, whatever the device, it doesn't have to be a laptop, it could be a cell phone, it could be an iPad, but they have to get comfortable with it. Then they can use it. And we have got digital ambassadors, even on the ground, to help all our seniors to be able to use this properly. One of the initiatives that we have is to use our digital, the QR code, to pay by QR code instead of to pay by cash. And as all of you know, without touching the cash, the disease cannot pass along. So that's very important. Coming in the next few months, we'll have many digital ambassadors in our coffee shops, in our hawker centers. So all our stores will be encouraged to use this QR code where you can pay for your wanton mee, your char kway teow, or whatever you want to buy. So I hope our older residents, young at heart residents, right? They can try to use this. It's very convenient. Some of them are sometimes afraid because, like my mother, I just gave her a credit card. It's a first ever credit card in her life, because she went to some merchants and then they wouldn't take cash anymore. But she was very scared. She said, "Ayo, you give me one card like that, anybody can use, and then they take the money, how?" So I think part of this exercise is also to give our elderly residents the confidence to use digital payment without being very afraid that the money will all be taken away. So, I look forward to our digital ambassadors on the ground, and I hope that this will help us solve a lot of problems without touching cash. So we'll cut down COVID and, continue to have social distancing.
You are a great man, Mr. Ong. He's very, very great man. Because for my case, usually I use my wife's credit card. She's the financial controller of the house, so I have to go through her. So I take a sub card of hers. What about Mr. Yam? Mr. Yam, I know you are very
using cash. Yeah. You can give me your credit card as well.
He's a great man. Okay, Paul, Mr. Yam, I know you are a very tech savvy person. You know almost everything about technology. So actually, did you use this period of time, circuit breaker, to teach your parents or anything on hands-on about technology?
Yes, I think in general, we have this impression that elders are afraid of technology, or they are technophobes, because actually that impression is more because we are a little bit impatient when it comes to teaching our elders how to use technology. So I found that because of the circuit breaker, getting in touch with my parents, they didn't stay very far from me, but because we couldn't visit each other, and of course they missed the grandchildren, teaching them to set up Zoom, to have our sort of e-dinners, because all our birthdays were during the circuit breaker. My wife's, my mum, my dad's, Mother's Day, all the significant festivals were all during circuit breaker. So literally we would sort of order tapao food delivery, we order the same thing, and then we set up Zoom and literally we makan together lah. So you look at their table, we look at the table, same food, eating the same thing. But they pick it up very, very, very quickly if you're patient enough to sit down with them, teach them, walk them through the process. So our elders are prepared to learn, because if you just imagine, just like taking the bus, last time even when I was young, I took the bus, we put coins. Then after that, you had the tin fare card that you punch holes in. Then after that, you had the ticker fare pass, and then now you have the EZ-Link card, which is contactless. And our elders have also progressed along with that. So they will grow with technology if we take the time and effort to talk to them, teach them, and reassure them, especially because, as Mr. Ong mentioned earlier, money, what they are most afraid of, you tell them, you just go TT, they say, oh, what if 9块变成90块? What if deduct more than necessary? What if I don't know whether I have enough money? So those are the things that we will need to reach out to them, reassure them. Technology will continue to progress, but we must help to bring them along and be patient as well.
That's right. We have people saying that, Mr. Alex, you're such a great son. Okay, such a patient son. Yeah, because we sometimes at home, I myself, I admit I'm also like that. I get a bit impatient here and there, especially when we want to get the message across, but somehow or other it's stuck. Okay, yeah. So now also the same thing, I want to get the message across. Today, don't ask me about election, Michael. Michael, don't like that. Okay, because we have Michael asking, Michael, yep, I saw your comments asking about what's the strategy to win the votes and things like that. Not today, stay tuned, okay? Stay tuned. Talking about COVID-19 and the new norm today, Okay, so can I actually ask Minister Wong, okay, what is the new norm? Okay, what is the new norm to you, the new normal?
Well, basically, I think many people are very happy to be in phase 2. You can go out, you can meet people, but we just have to understand that we are not going back to life before COVID-19. Many things are different. As we just now was talking about, you can go out, but you have to wear a mask. You have to maintain safe distancing from one another. Make sure that you maintain that safe distance, and then really look at having much better hygiene standards, both at the personal level and also in all our public spaces. So those are may seem like very basic things, and we've been talking about this repeatedly, but I think these are very important behaviors and mindsets. So for example, even today, we can go out to dine, but after eating, please put on the mask again. Don't eat finish. The mask is, you're not wearing a mask and then start talking and spreading droplets everywhere without the mask on, right? So you eat together, that's fine, we allow you. But after eating, please put on the mask and then go back home. Also, we allow people to gather together in groups of 5, but really there's no need to go out repeatedly with multiple groups of 5 people. Even though you can go out, try to keep the contacts that you have to a smaller group. Try not to go out so much, especially in crowded spaces. So those are, I think, very important, seems like very simple things to do, but they are very critical. And we really hope that all Singaporeans will comply and uphold these precautions and measures. And I would say the vast majority of Singaporeans are responsible and they are cooperating with the measures. There are a few who have acted irresponsibly, like over the weekend at Holland Village. You have seen some of the things that have happened, and we've had to take enforcement action against them. And our safe distancing ambassadors and our enforcement officers will continue to be deployed all over the island. They will be vigilant. They will take strict action against anyone that flouts the rules. But really, I hope Singaporeans will uphold the measures, not just because of fear of getting fined or fear of punishment, but all of us will cooperate and change our mindsets, start to do this, because these are the things that we need to protect ourselves, to protect our loved ones, and this is how we can ensure a safe and sustainable reopening from phase 2 and then later on to phase 3.
That's right. Totally agree with Minister. That's right. I wear a mask because I don't want my droplets to fly around. Okay, I wear a mask to keep myself safe and my family safe. Yeah. So it's not about being fine or not fine. So I wear a mask to protect myself. So do remember that. Thank you, Minister. Thank you so much. And of course, coming back to Mr. Ong Teng Koon, can I check
if you are alone? If you are alone, you don't have to wear a mask. If you are alone.
Oh, no need. 哎呀，早讲嘛。哎呀。Okay. So I got it. 哎呀，不然我讲话你们又听不到。Okay， 那我要问的是我们的 Mr. Ong。Okay，Mr. Ong， in terms of the direction for trade and industry, what is the new norm in your understanding?
You know, Kelvin, I'm sure you are the same as a lot of us. For me, every day now is work from home. And, you know, Zoom has become one of my best friends. Besides, I've got two other friends. They're called Skype and Microsoft Teams. Not as
okay.
You know, this is becoming a reality for all of us. And also, my son and my daughter, they are also on Zoom, on home-based learning, and a lot of computer programming stuff. So one of the things that we really have to do in this new COVID situation is to really invest in the digital economy, to make sure that all of us, right, whatever your age, whether you are young, you're adult, you're elderly, everyone knows how to use digital mediums to communicate. So to empower yourselves, right, to be able to connect with the rest of Singaporeans, to be able to connect with your workplace, and also to be able to connect with the rest of the world. And, you know, as we embrace this new situation where all of us have to go digital, the government is putting a lot of investment, but also we have to remember one of the fundamental things that made Singapore successful was to remain an open and connected economy. And that we really have to do. We have to stay connected with the rest of the world. As you can see, you know, during when COVID first hit, everyone was rushing to the supermarkets because they were afraid that, you know, no food is going to come. But we kept our borders open. Food continued to arrive. We continue to be an important hub in the supply chain. Our upstream customers, our downstream customers, they could all still depend on us to produce the goods that they need. So for Singapore, it is very, very important to stay open and connected. And really part of that is we have to continue to redouble our efforts to continue to negotiate all the free trade agreements, to make sure that Singapore continues to be plugged in to all the major economies. India, China, USA, Australia, we must continue to be friends for everyone, so that all these can bring enough businesses to Singapore, make sure that our businesses survive, and also bring enough jobs to our workers so that everyone can really have a job, you know. So as we come together during this difficult period, and hopefully all of us can be united, and then we will come out even stronger because we have made full use of all our government's efforts to make ourselves more valuable to the world.
Thank you, Mr. Ong. Thank you so much. Yeah, I think Mr. Ong is correct. We have a new friends like Zoom, like Skype, and so on and so forth. And yeah, Molly also mentioned one of viewers as well. Another friend, the laptop. That's right. Now, the first thing that I get in touch with in the morning is my desktop or even my laptop. It's no more those usual days. And this is about the new norm and what is coming on for us in the future. But something that we need to know is, how is the government going to help us in terms of getting to the new norm? Maybe can I direct this question to Mr. Zaki?
Wow. Okay. So I think you have to take it at different levels. I think Teng Koon raised a very good point about our economy, how it must remain open, because to a large extent, you know, many of our industries in Singapore has always been a trade hub. So if you look at our history, since even Sir Stamford Raffles time till now, it's always been a trading hub. So we can't run away from the DNA that we have. And in fact, one of those things we have to safeguard now is at three levels. One is the economy, in which you have to remain connected, but at the same time, we will face challenges. So in reality, we have set up some of these travel bubbles, linkages with countries like China, for example, and we're discussing in Malaysia now. But really, we have to think about, you know, some of the economic structures, at the same time jobs, because there'll be some sectors that are more impacted than others. So for the foreseeable future, I think tourism will be challenging. I think people will be quite worried and scared to travel. And of course, businesses, you will find that, you know, there'll be unless it's essential, until the day when you have vaccines and countries lift these quarantine requirements, it's very hard to imagine you have to spend 2 weeks outside quarantine, come back 2 weeks quarantine. So there are some of these arrangements that we need to sort out before business can continue to normal. So what we probably need to do is really think about, what kind of sectors that are still thriving and booming, and certainly look at the job environment and how we can minimize the impact to Singaporeans. So this is where our government is really doing all its best to, while it's a downturn, people say it's a downturn crisis, but really look at what the government is trying to do to create 100,000 jobs and traineeships. But because this is in preparation for what's to come. So Minister Lawrence Wong and the MTF have been working really hard to contain the health pandemic issue. But I think moving on, there is always an economic impact, and I meet companies and business leaders every other day to discuss, how we can restart economies safely, but at the same time, from an impact perspective, whether we can retain businesses, we can retain jobs. And I think that's one thing that I think is preoccupying many of our minds at the moment. So this is something in which, if you ask me, I would say we want to run business as usual. I know many of our retailers, our F&B outlets, they want to open up to normal. But at the same time, we have to be responsible, do things slightly differently, but because we want to keep it safe. Because the last thing you want is to have a second wave or a third wave, and we have to go to circuit breaker again, and I can tell you it'll be quite miserable. So we must find ways to do things differently but safely, so that it's for the good of all of us, to make sure that we're able to continue to sustain jobs and keep our business running.
Yeah, that's right. I think thank you, sir. Thank you so much. I think I totally agree with you, especially when you mentioned that we really cannot afford to have another circuit breaker. As much as a circuit breaker has actually helped us, okay, in a way or other, it helped us to become more creative. Okay, we tried different things in terms of technology and digital kind of a platform. Can I also check with Mr. Alex Yam as well, because he's very creative. We know him to be very creative and very innovative. How did you actually have to connect and engage with your residents nowadays? Do you think that actually this circuit breaker help us in terms of our right brain formalization? Because the right brain is all about creativeness. Yeah.
Well, of course, I think so. Of course, in our community, we've been trying to explore different ways to reach out. So for Marsiling-Yew in particular, we've had 2 programs. One is Happy Kopitiam, and we've in the episodes that we had, the 16 episodes, we reached out to almost 900,000 people unique people who have tuned in to our shows. And up in Marsiling, we have Marsiling Connect as well, hosted by MOS Zaki. And that also has brought on our residents as well as other Singaporeans to tune in, find out accurate information. So the circuit breaker, that period, we are all asked to stay apart. But humans are like that. We crave bonds, we crave to be able to interact with each other. So there's a lot of things that have gone on in the space of just 2 months. Whether it's Zoom meetings, whether it's 𝗺𝗆𝗃 that we mentioned earlier, going online and streaming live, whether it's one of our residents, 𝗺𝗆𝗃𝗏, for example, he's been helping his friends, started off helping his friends sell fish online, and he's set up his own company now. He's very successful. I think recently he's been helping to sell durians as well. So it brings... We say in Chinese, 危机, right? This is a difficult time for us, but 危机 also means wei, which is the danger, and ji, which is opportunity. In danger, we will find opportunity, and that's how creative Singaporeans are. But I think also as important as finding creative ways to work, to entertain ourselves, to link with each other, it's that social fabric of Singapore. We've seen it in various ways of people out helping each other during this period, sewing masks for children, donating items for foreign workers, our migrant workers, reaching out to the less fortunate in our community, really to ensure that during this difficult period, we are in it together and we can support one another. And I think the best way to describe it is while we practice social distancing, we are not socially distant from each other. In fact, I think COVID-19 has brought the community much closer together.
Thank you, Mr. Yang. I think Mr. Yang is very correct about this because we have seen people having their hands on in technology kind of platform which they never used to try on before. Even for myself, frankly speaking, from an entertainment and events background, I do on-ground events. I never thought one day I would be speaking through the windows of my desktop with 4 gentlemen here. Yeah, it's a new try for me. After trying on in this Happy Kopitiam, I actually like this format of online interaction because at the same time, something good for me is that okay, within that period of time, I can do 2 shows, 3 shows in one day. Okay, okay 啦，我有报 income tax 啦，不要这样讲。Okay, but anyway, okay, 开玩笑。But in terms of the past, I can only do 1 ground events in a day. So this is something that I need to actually highlight to everyone. Don't be afraid to try. I have some friends who are in the events and entertainment industry. They are very, they were quite afraid to take up the first step. I can just tell you, just 敢 try 了，好不好？大家不要犹豫了，好不好？你没有试过，你其实不会知道说什么东西是一个新的尝试。新的尝试是什么东西叫做一个危机？危机我们把它变成一个转机。可能不是一个商机，但是只要我们把它变转机了之后，东西就会正面化了，好不好？我们的大哥大姐、安哥安弟加油 ，OK？ 那 OK，this is about this new norm and such, and what is happening in the community. And I believe we have some questions from the public as well. Okay, so if you want to take this opportunity to actually pop some questions to ask our 4 gentlemen here, please feel free to. Okay, our page is open 24 hours one. Okay, so any of the questions that is not answered within this limited time that we have, please feel free to drop it into our PM as well. The PM as in private message, not that PM is this PM. Okay, yeah. So our private message. So we will try to attend to you as fast as we can. Okay, so let me just take a look at some of the questions over here. We have one coming from Peter Ling Ping Ho. Can our shopping malls offices be more like our public transport in terms of tracing and distancing? Oh, that means I think he wanted a more secured one, is it? Or a more detailed kind of a tracing and distancing, is it?
Yeah, I'm not sure what Peter is referring to. But actually, the feedback we get from a lot of people is it's very hard to do physical distancing on public transport, sometimes during peak hours. That's why we explain to everyone, for public transport, we understand it's not so easy to be 1 meter apart during peak hours, but we take other precautions in the buses and in the MRT, in the trains. For example, everyone must wear a mask, and then we remind everyone, don't talk on the phone, don't talk to one another. Right, wear a mask, stay there, and then because the public transport journeys are not so long, the risk is not so high. It's more manageable. For offices, I think that's where the bigger risk is, because for office you spend a lot of time in the office, right, with your colleagues. I think you spend more time in the office than in a shopping mall. Most of us will be at work, unless you work from home. But otherwise, if you're at work, you will be spending a lot of time at the office, and you will possibly have quite a number of meetings with your colleagues. And in some of these meetings, I don't know what people do. Sometimes they take away their mask, then they happily talk to one another. And if there are a lot of people in an enclosed space without very good ventilation, then it is quite risky, because only one person needs to be infected, and he can easily spread to a lot of other people within the same room, right? And that person may be asymptomatic. That means they don't have symptoms. They don't have runny nose. They don't have cough and cold. They don't even know that they have the virus. But if they are infected, then when they are together in the office, they let their guard down. They don't wear a mask. They come together. That's where the virus spreads. Or sometimes it's in an office pantry where they all eat together. And they come together, and then they have, they go to the pantry, they relax. Again, these are the areas in the office where it can be higher risk, and everyone must be on guard. So we do want people to continue to be vigilant, whether it's in office, whether you go shopping and public transport, in all of these different settings. We really need everyone to stay vigilant. And if you know of any places that happens to be, where you see lapses, then let us know, because we do want to make sure that the shopping mall operator, the business, the public transport operator, we want all of them to take responsibility as well.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. I hope that actually helped to answer Peter's question. Thank you so much, Peter. And okay, coming up, we have one more question. But before going into the next question, I just want to mention this. I need to bring up this question because it's just like okay, as a Singaporean myself, my first reaction and my first thought was when the government actually helped us and bringing out a huge sum of money from the reserve to help the Singaporeans and to tide over this COVID-19, my first thought is that, 𝗺𝗆𝗶𝗶𝗶 okay, 还有剩多少? Is there any more? Okay, so I think this is actually what Joey is worried as well. She asked, okay, I've asked Mr. Zaki before I'm posting my concern to Min Lawrence, can we still afford another circuit breaker? I think it's almost the same thing. Yeah.
Well, Zaki, you want to, since the question is raised to you.
Yeah. Mr. Zaki, come on.
No, I can tell you, I don't think it's going to be a very popular move if we go for a second circuit breaker, because I know, many Singaporeans were already quite, concerned or distressed when they have to stay at home for 3 months. So I think there's two parts to it. One is the economic impact. If you talk to many of the businesses today, no matter how much support you give them, I think many would rather still continue to have business and run operations per normal, because even with government support, I mean, it's not small, because this round we gave about almost 100 billion, in terms of, and 60 billion from reserves. It's very significant, and even with that, I can tell you that it tides through companies for a short period, but I don't think they can last that long on circuit breaker. So I know many companies, because I speak to CEOs and employers daily in MOM, that they're all very concerned, where they want to restart economy because they are very concerned about holding workers. If they don't have revenue, they have to let go workers. And this is something we are also very concerned with, because if companies start letting go workers, you have a lot of workers who are retrenched. That is something that I'm not sure whether we can afford that in Singapore for a long period of time. So if you look at an example, if I take the US as an example, before COVID-19, they were recording record high employment rates in the US. So they were doing very well. But imagine within the span of 3 months, look at the unemployment rate now hitting about 15% and growing. And you can see the kind of unrest that you find in the US. Partly, yes, you have, the social unrest and Black Lives Matter and the campaign and so forth. But really, if you think about it, do we want to get there? Today, we're at 2.4%, which is still lower than where we were during the Asian financial crisis. But this is just the start. We do not know the economic impact. So when you say, can we afford another one, it's not so much just whether the government can afford, but can the economy afford one more round of this? That's one. The second one is the psychological impact. Because if you think about it, how long can you keep people inside the homes for too long? So I deal with the dormitories too. I can tell the foreign workers staying there for so long. Many of them are starting to get cabin fever. And, when I say cabin fever, it's not fever. It's more like, if you're confined to a room for too long, there's only so long you can stay in. So I think to some extent, we're all humans, we're all social creatures, and there are certain creature comforts that we are also used to. So to some extent, people going out, I can sometimes understand why they want to congregate, meet friends, because 3 months you don't get to see each other. Boyfriend, girlfriend want to partner for 3 months, cannot partner, so finally they go and partner, this weekend, last weekend. So we have to think about some of the social implications, the psychological implications, economic implications, and of course, government, when we talk about the reserves, it has taken us many terms of governments, many generations of governments who had our predecessors who had saved up so that we could, use it when crisis hits. And this is one of those times where we find that we need to use it. So to some extent, I say, we talk about impact, I say you have to think about the different types of impact because it impacts different segments of the country differently.
Can I just add a little bit of points on what Zaki said just now? The question on whether we can afford it, for this, what we have spent so far this year to help Singaporeans tide through COVID-19, it is, as Zaki said, nearly $100 billion, 20% of GDP, more than half covered coming from our reserves. We are fortunate to have the reserves to afford this money. Many other countries are also spending a lot of money to help their economies and to help their people, but they are borrowing in order to put out fiscal resources, which means that their children will have to pay back the debt that they are borrowing now. Whereas in Singapore, we do not have to borrow, right? We are using our current reserves as well as some of our past reserves. And we are not borrowing to spend this money to help Singaporeans and to help our economy. That's the difference. So we have the resources and we are doing everything we can to help Singaporeans overcome the current crisis. What about going forward? Of course, we try our very best not to have a circuit breaker. No one wants to go through another circuit breaker. But we are also, I think, have to be mentally prepared, because as we open up for phase 2, as we interact more, we must be realistic that the number of new cases will rise. It will happen. It has happened in all the countries that exited from their lockdowns. You look at countries everywhere. Korea, China, even New Zealand recently, after 20 over days, 0 case. Now, more cases have come up. So every country, when they open up and resume activities, the number of cases is sure to rise. It will happen in Singapore too, right? I'm quite sure, maybe not now, but later on, we will see more cases. As we have more cases, we will do our best to control, to stop the cases from spreading so that we don't have large clusters. And if we can do that, then we may not need a circuit breaker. That means we don't go into a circuit breaker. We have localized restrictions. Maybe if a cluster comes up in an office, we close down that office. We don't have to have a general circuit breaker. So it's through local measures, right? We stop it at this particular location and we try our very best to control the infection in this manner. But at the end of the day, as I said earlier, in order not to go into a circuit breaker again, we really need everyone to cooperate and to do our part. Change our habits, adopt new mindsets, be very vigilant and disciplined, and don't go out and celebrate and have big parties. Right? Just remember, we are not going back to life as it used to be before COVID-19. For quite some time, this will be our new way of life, right? Trying to maintain good habits, social distancing, safe distancing, wearing of masks, and continuing to ensure that we don't have too many frequent contacts with one another, no large group gatherings. All of these things must be maintained for quite some time, and this requires all of us to work together.
That's right. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Okay, talking about this new norm and new life that we have, I've seen some comments. Some were actually, I'm getting used to this new norm. I love this because I can stay at home and work. Yes, offices is just like at home. I can do my usual work and things like that. I have people also mentioning about, I miss the firm handshake and seeing the sweet smile. Don't worry, the sweet smile can still be seen on MyTV. Okay, the firm handshake, don't worry, we can do an elbow. Okay, let's do it trendy, okay? Okay, so we have some concerns over here as well from one of our viewers. Okay, Y Chung Hong. Are we seeing any good news in terms of vaccine development for COVID-19? How fast can Singapore roll out vaccine to all when there is a safe and credible vaccine?
Yeah, so Chung Hong, the answer is there is a massive global effort to develop a vaccine for COVID-19. This has never been done before. It's the first time the whole world has put in so much resources to try and find a vaccine. And there are something like 110 different projects going on at this time. So there is a good chance that the world will find a vaccine. But again, we also have to be very realistic. First of all, the track record to find a vaccine is not very good, right? For some of these viruses, in order to get a vaccine developed, it is very, very challenging. And if you look at the history of vaccines, it is usually very hard to develop one. So the track record has not been very good. This time round, many projects, but we hope it will be successful, but just have to be realistic. Number two, even if we were to find a vaccine, we don't know if the vaccine will give you long-lasting immunity. Meaning to say, you get jabbed once, then how long can your protection last? Is it lifelong? Maybe not. Maybe only a few months. Right? And then after that, you got to jab again. And then, so will there be sufficient vaccine? Will the vaccine that's developed be available for distribution around the world to so many people? These are very uncertain questions. There are lots of uncertainties, and there are no clear answers at this stage. So we are involved as in some of these vaccine development projects. Singapore is involved. We are doing everything we can to plug in and even to talk to vaccine manufacturers to manufacture the vaccine in Singapore itself, so that we can have access to the vaccines if and when they are developed. So we are doing everything we can, but I just want to caution, let's be realistic. This is very challenging, very, very challenging work. If the vaccine can be developed by next year, for example, it will be a new record for the world, because there is never a time when a vaccine is developed within such a short period of time. It has never been done before.
Thank you, Minister. Thank you so much. So let's just remain hopeful as well, okay? So we have to be positive and at the same time stay safe while waiting for the vaccine, okay, to be developed. And of course, okay, this is all about COVID-19. And because for myself, I faced this situation as well because my house was in the midst of the renovation and then it stopped. Luckily, we have phase 2, and then for suspended projects, we can start renovating. I can't wait to go back to my house. Okay, the same goes for some of our residents in UT as well, because I think they see some of the renovations and upgrading works going around in Marsiling-Yew. For example, Julia Key, okay, she was asking, hi, I would like to ask, will the building of the UT Kampong be affected just like the upgrading of Limbang Shopping Centre is already delayed? Okay, UT, somebody,
Well, I think many of our residents are looking forward to the UT Integrated Hub, which we announced at the tail end of last year. As with most major infrastructure projects, we have to expect that with COVID-19 that there will be delays. So far, we've entered into stage 2 of our consultancy tender. Because of the circuit breaker, we've had a 2 months delay, but the tender will close quite soon. We can start doing the design specifications. But in terms of the physical construction of the building, we do expect that it will take just a little bit longer, and perhaps even longer if manpower becomes an issue, supply chain becomes an issue. But we are committed to delivering on the project because it's something that many of our residents have been asking for and looking forward to, both in Limbang as well as in UT.
Thank you so much. I think the upgrading works and everything got to be done slowly, in no time. Have some patience, okay? Have some patience, because I know a lot of people out there actually feeling a bit lost here and there, especially for those of you who have your houses as well renovated halfway, just like me. Keep the hopes high, okay? We can do it, Okay, so thank you so much for all the questions coming on from Facebook viewers. And we know we have a lot of questions that is unanswered, but because the time is quite limited, do PM us as well, private message us. We will try to attend to you as fast as we can, as much as we can. Okay, so we know that Singapore actually, one thing cool about Singaporeans is Singaporeans are very, very strong somehow or other. That is what I see. 就是有一点点是 okay. In Chinese, we always call that 打不死的蟑螂. The cockroach, no matter how you smack it, the cockroach say, hi, I'm still alive. Yeah, this is something about Singaporeans. We are very strong. Maybe we have been taught since younger days. That means we are a small nation, a little red dot. We need to be stronger than others in order to survive. And our parents actually taught us as well. Yeah, 要加油 and everything. Yeah, positivity. So Singaporeans actually came out with their own segment of moments of hope. They actually started this. That means clapping around and thanking our frontliners for all the hard work. We actually pieced together this home as well, coming along from each part of the Singapore as well, singing together towards this home song. So we have some moments of hope videos that we want to show to you, because we want to remind you that in whatever circumstances, we need to keep our moments of hope high and positive. Okay, let's take a look at some throwback on the videos itself for moments of hope. In HDB blocks especially, you can see each other shouting and screaming and clapping for frontliners. This is happening in all parts of Singapore. Clapping and thanking the frontliners. Wow, even the dogs are barking. Thank you so much for the video. Thank you so much. This is a throwback. The purpose of me arranging this video for you is to tell you we need to stay strong in whatever circumstances that we face, no matter now or even the future. And thinking back, we have come a long way in fighting COVID. So we are halfway through and we can win this 看不见又摸不到的 virus. Yeah, so it's not only happening in north, south, east, west, or even central part of Singapore. For Marsiling-Yew, we even came together to continue engaging our residents through various live platforms like 𝗵𝗵𝗶𝗶𝗶𝗬𝗲, which Mr. Alex Yam actually mentioned, and we have Marsiling Connects as well. We did not leave behind those in need and supported them with care packs and food rations at different locations. As you can see, this slide that I've actually shared with you guys. Don't worry, Singaporeans and everyone in Marsiling-Yew, you are not fighting the battle alone. We are all with you as a team, as a family, as one Singapore. Especially to our seniors at home as well. 大家放心，我们都是一家人，我们一起来度过这个艰难的这个时刻。大家加油，新加坡加油！ Yeah， 继续加油，继续加油。Now, okay, I believe our Singaporeans will feel even more positive if we can actually enter into a segment where we have our ministers writing some words of encouragement for all of them. Okay, we actually placed a whiteboard, okay, on your table earlier on. Then you were actually asking me, what is the whiteboard for? What is the white paper for? I don't want to tell you yet, okay, but because right now we need to write some words of encouragement. I want this to be a very, very 即兴 kind of thing. So you can actually think of what you want to say to Singaporeans. 加油, fighting, add oil, or whatever. Okay, can we have a good 30 seconds to write on that? OK， 因为我们的这个部长又或者是我们的这个Mr. Yam 或者 Mr. Ong 他们就会开始就是写上这个30秒，只给他们30秒，看他们写什么东西，好不好 ？OK， 来鼓励我们新加坡的，好不好？那我们的昂哥、安迪、大哥、大姐在家里看我们节目的朋友，OK， 这个时候呢， 如果你们正在看的时候，你们也可以想一下，诶，我要怎么样把这个东西 share 出去？每天都是一个新的开始，每天都是一个学习的过程。那可以问一下你们的家人，好不好？然后 help us to share this love, help us to share this MyTV video to everyone, because what we want to portray over here and what we want to share over here is happiness and positivity. So fast, you all finish already? Okay, we are still waiting for Mr. Zaki and Mr. Alex Yam. Okay. OK 啊 ，Mr. Alex Yam 在学校做功课一定每次最后做完的。Okay, so when we are all ready, can we all flash together? Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Wow. Okay, we have Mr. Alex Yam, 新加坡加油 ，Majulah Singapura. Okay. 加油 from Minister Lawrence Wong. As one united people, we will overcome COVID-19 together. Okay, now for Mr. Zaki, into every life. Wait.
A little rain must fall.
I put it up.
Wow, my God.
A little rain must fall. Okay, we will create an umbrella of opportunities. Wow, well said, well done. Okay, and we have Mr. Ong as well. Let's help each other together. We can overcome. That's right, we can overcome. Coming back to Mr. Alex Yam, Majulah Singapura, 新加坡加油. Okay, and coming back to Minister Wong. 加油 as one united people, we will overcome COVID-19 together. Wow, thank you so much, sir. Can we have one virtual 大合照? We call it a photo taking together. Okay, let's pose together with your this well wishes, and then I come up with something very Singapore over here. And then let's post this together so that we can screenshot for everyone to remind everyone that we are one people, one nation, one Singapore. Stay strong. 1, 2, 3, smile. Thank you so much. Thank you. I believe our team screenshot this. Thank you so much. Thank you for the words of encouragement. I hope that everyone continue to stay safe and stay strong as well. Okay, in the meantime, before we end this show for today, we actually have one song item for everyone. We have actually gone into the words of encouragement for all Singaporeans for our home. Right now, we're going to go into this home song that is specially brought to you by Rachel Chua and her family. And we have a Malay friend as well, Ryan Sufian and his family, Home.
每一次我感到彷徨，不自禁就会回头望。我知道心中有个地方，一定会有一盏灯，照亮每一颗黑暗的心房，指引未来方向。沿着生命河流向前航，就能登陆理想。我的家，收藏我的欢喜悲伤，只要点燃希望，梦就会自由飞翔。我的家，给我一双坚定翅膀，我的梦不论在何方，一生的爱唯有家。
When there are troubles to go through, we'll find a way to start anew. There is comfort in the knowledge that home's about its people too. So we'll build our dreams together, just like we've done before. And just like the river which brings us life, there'll always be Singapore. This is home, truly, where I know I must be, where my dreams wait for me, where the river always flows. This is home, surely, as my senses tell me. This is where I won't be alone. This is where I know it's home.
This is home, truly, where I know I must be. When my dreams wait for me, where the river always flows. This is home, surely, as my senses tell me. This is where I won't be alone. For this is where I know it's home. For this is where I know I'm home. For this is where I know I'm home.
We hope you like this rearrangement of home that is done by us and then brought to you by Rachel and family and Ryan and family as well. Everywhere we go in the world or whatever we are and whatever we are facing right now, stay strong together as one people, one Singapore. Okay, so this home actually 其实陪了我很多个国家。I was in China before and things like that. So 我在那边我一想家的时候，我就会听这。It's true, it's true. 所以我就会听这首歌。So if you have something positive as well you want to share with all fellow Singaporeans out there, feel free to post on our comments page as well. Fighting Singapore, 加油新加坡, anything you want to say, 加油. And if you have any questions that you want us to help you in answering, please do remember you can PM us as well. Don't worry, this page is 24 hours a day, okay? So 24/7 this page, okay? So we have the next show coming up, which is on Sunday, 28th of June, right here on the page of Marsiling-Yew, 8 p.m. as well. 所以呢，我们大哥大姐就在6月28号8点钟同样的地方，我们会在这里跟大家见面。我们另外一集的这个 MyTV 将会带来更多正面的消息，好不好？那我们的 Min Wong 还有我们的这个 Mr. Zaki 还有 Mr. Alex Yam 跟 Mr. Ong，Thank you so much。有没有什么要补充的？有没有什么要补充的？我们的这位4位 ，Anything you want to add on before we leave here? Let's start from Minister Wong.
No, I think this is the first program that we are putting out to try and reach out to our residents online. So we hope you will spread the word, get more friends and family members and neighbors to come online, and let's stay in touch. We may not be able to see all of you these next few days because, like I said, our activities on the ground will be a lot more constrained under COVID-19. But as Alex said just now, social distancing does not mean that we have to be separated. So we continue to stay in touch, stay online, stay engaged, and we look forward to seeing all of you in our next show.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Minister Zaki, you have a lot of fans out there. You want to say anything to your fans? Okay.
No, I just want to say thank you to everyone for joining us this evening. Really, your questions, I was just looking through all your live comments. Very thoughtful, very pertinent, very important as well. So let's fight this pandemic together. Let's overcome this and let's come out stronger.
Thank you so much. 那 Mr. Ong 很孝顺的孩子 ，OK, who gave the credit card to the parents to use. OK, anything you want to add on? OK.
亲爱的居民和朋友们，谢谢大家来跟我们度过很美好的时光。也希望大家呢可以在星期日再来一次看我们的节目安迪安哥，您能大家好不？这阵COVID 爱大妈啥 希望你这个礼拜日来看咱的表演，不是表演，来看咱的
表演。
爱支持阮人哦，感谢你安尼做，你的支持咱，感谢你。
感謝 Mr. Ong， 感謝 Mr. Ong。
好啊，丁冠好啊。
OK，咁依家我哋要用廣東話啦 ，Mr. Yang 有咩要講噶 ？Mr. Yang。
事先真的跟我们所有马西林有词的居民们说声这个诚心的感谢。那我们今天是第一次上我们的这个 MyTV 马西林有词的这个视频，非常感谢这么多居民都上网来跟我们一起互动。那接下来我们还有一系列的这个节目，下一集就是我们星期天这个晚上8点整会在同一个平台跟大家一起相处。那希望大家会继续支持我们的节目，继续支持我们的这个团队我们也希望在下一届的这个大选当中继续为你们服务那这是我们一向以来的这个荣幸。所以如果下一届还有这个机会为你们效劳的话，我们会尽全力为你们伸出我们的援手来帮助我們馬斯林有詞的所有的居民們非常之多謝大家今晚都支持我哋呢個節目啦。我哋禮拜日8點一齊唱下歌，聽下我哋4位同大家講啲嘢希望大家會支持我哋下一個星期都係有3個節目希望大家都會支持我哋啦所以非常感謝 Thank you all very much.
Thank you so much. With all the changes in the languages and the dialects, okay, we don't need any magic water here. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you once again. Thank you to everyone. Thank you. 謝謝部長，謝謝。Thank you so much. Thank you. Stay safe. Bye bye.
Bye bye.